U.S. Senate's version of the FAA reauthorization bill includes a provision authored by U.S. Senators Ed Markey and Richard Blumenthal that would regulate airline pricing models. The provision, already rejected by the U.S. Department of Transportation, is also known as the Forbidding Airlines from Imposing Ridiculous Fees Act. Supporters contend that regulation will benefit consumers by capping the fees that airlines can charge for last-minute changes, cancellations, or bag fees. But looking at the history of regulation of the airline industry, it leads us to ask if more regulation would actually bring down the price of airfares. We talked to some leading airline experts to find out more.
The senators are proposing the so-called FAIR Act, calling for fair fees instead of ridiculous fees, I think are trying to micromanage how the product is sold in an industry that has been very successful and has quadrupled the number of passengers flying by making airline travel widely affordable.
Airfares haven't only gone down since deregulation, they've gone down since we began seeing airlines unbundle their product. The cost of airfare, even inclusive of fees, since 2008 when American Airlines first introduced checked baggage fees that we all experience, is lower today. So, the introduction of fees is not itself drive higher costs. The long-term trend is lower costs.
These kinds of fees are options for passengers. I mean, there are travelers like me who only use carry-on and would never pay a checked baggage fee. People have different preferences. People who are tall like I am, I'll gladly pay an extra $30 to have more legroom in the premium coach section. And I'm very glad they offer that. But the large majority of travelers are very, very price sensitive. And so they're willing to put up with shorter legroom. I mean, they've got the choice. And it doesn't cost that much more to pay for the up front of the coach section. But most people don't do it. Airlines try to respond to what people actually want.
Today, most travelers are offered flexibility when they purchase their ticket via a fully refundable flexible ticket that's more expensive, or they can choose a lower fare that requires a change fee if a change or cancellation to the itinerary is needed.
Most people choose the airfare that requires a change fee if you have to change your itinerary or something. Now that's an option. You can always buy the more expensive fare in the first place that's guaranteed you can change it with no penalty.
There's no question that customers don't like fees, but they also don't like high costs. The airlines that have done the most in unbundling, the ones that have the most fees, are also the ones that have done the most to drive down pricing. Ultra low-cost carriers in the United States, like Spirit Airlines, like Frontier Airlines, and like Allegiant, have the most fees. They're the least expensive, and they've caused other airlines to drive down the cost of air travel as well.
Fair fees would force airlines to abandon the successful business models that have made commercial air travel the most affordable they have been in over 20 years.
If you regulate fees and regulate out of existence the business model that's driving down cost, I mean, you're more likely to get higher cost overall rather than lower costs.
The government's going to regulate and reduce the income that comes to an airline from charging these fees. They're going to have to try to recover that by increasing the fare. So, the net price may not be up a significant amount, but it's certainly not going to encourage the long-term downtrend in the cost of air travel, which has been one of the huge benefits of airline deregulation ever since 1978.
Regulating airlines' pricing models would force them to change their entire business models, putting the price of the lower-cost fares in jeopardy.
The Fair Fees Act will actually limit consumer choice. It'll make air travel less affordable for the average American. We need to fight to keep our skies free from bad regulations.